Hi everybody, welcome to Module 7. In this module, we'll be looking at providing classroom supports for students with disabilities, which will focus on developing strategies that we can use to monitor and evaluate children's progress, looking at methods for family involvement, whether a child has an IFSP or an IEP, and overall progress effectiveness through data. We'll also be talking some about how we can prioritize our collaboration skills to effectively support children, families, and other professionals, including those from different cultures, whether it's through assessment or the implementation of intervention services. This week, in addition to checking announcements and your grades, you're going to wrap up your learning in the Bagnato module and complete Advanced Organizer 7. Do your second BDI scoring report, this time on an older child, and that scoring report you will use later in the next module to complete an IEP and an activity matrix. And we'll also be starting our Module 4 discussion board discussion. If you've got questions, please ask in the Questions Ask Here board. It should be a fantastic week of learning. In the final discussion board, we'll talk about that first and kind of go up the hill. Excuse my cough. The discussion board will focus on kind of an overview of all we've learned about supporting young children with disabilities, whether that's through assessment or intervention. So we're going to go back to that wonderful 3-2-1 learning style and tell 3 new things that you learned in this course you never knew before, 2 things you still want to learn that you feel like we started to learn about that, but I didn't learn as deeply as I would like, and 1 specific thing that you plan to do with this content that you learned in the course, 1 takeaway that you've got that you could right away implement. In our Advanced Organizer this week, you've got a handy-dandy organizational system to go through the rest of the Bagnato assessment. You're going to start by going back to your Richardson-Gibbs text. It was a really rich text full of some fantastic strategies, and we really want to wrap up and make sure we're looking at all we can do to support families, especially families from other cultures. So go back to your Richardson-Gibbs text and pull out at least 10 strategies you can use to support children with disabilities. Complete those final Bagnato reviews. Excuse me. And then you're going to look again at the NAEYC position statement, the DEC's positive outcomes position statement, and that where we stand on curriculum statement from the NAYEC and NACS/SDE. And then based on those documents, summarize what these statements mean to early childhood as a whole. How can you use these as you're instructing 3-year-olds in your classroom or in the newborn class at a child care center? What can you do with this information to make a positive difference in the lives of children? And then based on what you've read and kind of thought about, like, this is overall what I feel like these statements are saying, here I'd like you to create your own personal statement. So, summing up everything you've learned so far in this course, we want to say more than just, I like little kids and, I want to be a teacher. So use this starter as an early childhood educator, I believe, and then share some of your personal philosophy and statement of values. You can do those in bullet points, in a list. You can just do a series of things that you feel are foundationally important, but create that personal value statement that will help you wrap up the learning in the course. And if you have additional questions, please ask them here. All right, now let's look at the BDI scoring guide for the second child. This time we're looking at Brad, who again is older than Tiffany, and you'll use the information from Brad next week, so make sure you get a really good feel for that. Again, we have that really nice detailed Battelle that's been completed. You'll need to complete this first page before you go ahead and do the summary, and you've got the marks here that you'll need to take and transfer these marks up into the scoring page, and then you're going to create that summary page and a report for Brad. The appendices are still here for your help, as well as the rubric for the assignment. If you have any questions in this module, please don't hesitate to contact me. I look forward to chatting with you. It should be a great week of learning.